I think the go-to-market strategy is not a responsibility at all for the marketing team and sales team. It needs to be driven by the product manager because I believe the one who needs to lead all the operations regarding the product and the involvement of sales and marketing in the roadmap is the product manager, right?
Welcome to Tech Teams Today. I'm Lucas Mendes. I'm the founder and CEO of Revelo. And today we have Mauricio Cardenas with us. Mauricio is the VP of Technology at Orchest Technologies. And Orchest is a US-based carrier with presence in 17 countries in Latin America and the Caribbean. If you haven't already, don't forget to like and subscribe to Tech Teams Today on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. And Mauricio, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here.
Mauricio, you had a fascinating path from being the UN to product leadership in AI and SaaS. We always like to start by having our guests walk us through their journey into tech. So tell us a little bit about that. What initially got you into tech and how did that evolve into product strategy and release management?
Okay, great. So first of all, thank you so much for having me here, right? And my love for technology started since the beginning. I'm a software engineer. I'm a developer. I love technology. So I have always aimed to be in this business, right? And how I went to the UN, it has been a game changer for me, right? Because when I started, I have different sort of challenges that I never thought I would have, like the accountability and responsibility regarding many things. The UN is an organization that has many regulations, compliance processes, and I need to lead all of them for the World Food Program in Bolivia. I was the head of technology. So, and also I was the focal point of security and the UN appointed for the management team. So in that sense, I not only led the technology procedures and emergencies, I need also to take care about the physical security for our team members and also the coordination with different agencies. So to coordinate with different teams across the globe was something I was not prepared at the beginning. But that provided me enough confidence to lead teams and be sure about this is the right path for me. How I come to the leadership field and the strategy? Well, as a developer, I always aim to have a good direction, right? So, and I always be very responsible for the things that I deliver. So whenever I did something, I wanted to have a good result, right? Sometimes I didn't receive this leadership from my supervisors or superiors at that time. So I thought, what about start leading, right? So I become technical lead when I was a developer. Then I progressed as a project manager. So I was involved about releasing projects, and I was accountable of all of it, right? And I was enjoying a lot. I I I I think I can provide a very good value to the developers in order to guide them in order to have very good outcomes. So far, this journey has been fantastic. Right now in the product realm, this is great. This is amazing because it is not always coordinating with technicians. It's also working with cross-functional teams. And that is fantastic because we can work together to create something beautiful for a product.
And you spent over 7 years at ProcessMaker during your journey, and you were scaling and evolving their low-code automation platform during your time there. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the defining challenges that you tackled during that time, and what are you most proud of?
Well, actually, I met Process Maker a long time before it was Process Maker, right? I met the founder of this company, and he gave me my first job as a webmaster on his telecommunication company. After some time, I returned to work with him with Process Maker, and I become the product manager for the company. When I started working as a product manager, the product wasn't perfect. It has a lot of challenges regarding the code, the performance, a huge backlog, and it wasn't very well organized. I'm a very perfectionist kind of person. I like order. I like people to work accordingly to something that is scheduled. So I think so what I did with ProcessMaker is to guide them into a consistent procedures. I start documenting all the things. I start planning with the teams in with the agile mindset, right? And they start working accordingly in that sense. And we start releasing and reducing all the friction we have with clients. We improve engagement. We improve retention with clients. They were enjoying actually the product and I was part of having this company grow from a small company to what is right now. So if you tell me what I feel more proud about this work is everything, right? Because I have seen the whole transition from a small company to what is right now, and I think I have given a small grain of sand to what is the this now this outcome. So I feel proud about everything and all the people that I met along the way. And so far, people is still contacting me and telling me about the good experiences we have along the way.
It's great to hear. Now, Mauricio, AI is clearly a central part of your work. Can you tell us a little bit about how the rise of AI or Gen AI tools in general have changed how you build and manage products?
It is a change of mindset, right? Right now, I'm not making the question as what we should build, right? Right now, I question myself about what the data is telling us, what we should build in terms of the model, and how we need to guide it, right? Right now, it's a behavioral world where we need to understand what the data is prepared to do, how we can train this data, and we can apply this scientific method in order to have a correct behavior. Because finally, what we need to achieve is accuracy about the model, right? So it has changed from a functionality, from a product that brings functionalities into a product that brings a good behavior, a behavior we expect, and yes, it is a product that provides this kind of behavior we expect and the accuracy we need regarding our business, right?
When you're integrating AI into a product, what do you think are the biggest differences in the product management workflow compared to traditional SaaS development? Does it change how you think about the product workflow?
Actually, it has a lot of differences, right? Because a traditional product, it is deterministic, right?
Mm,
Now this is probabilistic because the outcome of this product, this AI product, it will have these probabilistic values in information that we need to accurate in order to be more precise about the outcome we want as part of the product, right? So it is not deterministic. It is not a function that we expect to work in some sort of way. We want a behavior that works that help our business to work successfully. So we need to find the right behavior. So as I said before, we are applying the scientific method in the sense that we have an hypothesis. We need to choose the correct model in order to bring that hypothesis into something true, relevant. We need to train the model. We need to test, and once we test, we need to verify if we get to this hypothesis into a thesis, right? So that is the idea.
got it. Now, that has a huge impact on that very probabilistic nature that you allude to has an impact on customers' trust, right? Nobody buys a product normally that sometimes works and sometimes doesn't, right? And
Yeah.
with AI, we're all doing that. And but in your experience, how do you bridge that gap, right? How do you work with product teams together with data science and AI engineers to create products that are usable, that you can actually explain to clients and that clients trust?
Yeah. Okay. Well, first of all, I think we need to start from the beginning. Uh, if you have a clear vision and mission about the product, you need to share that explanation to all the teams, right? Because we need to be in the same page. I'm always advocating that anyone on the team, on the technical team, needs to understand the goal of the business, right? Because we need to have this business language for all of us to understand that we are providing a good impact as part of the product. Of course, the teams need to understand the different terms about AI, about training a model and validate this model, etc. I totally agree with that. But first, we need to understand what are the business objectives. If that is clear for everyone, the communication is clear, it is objective regarding how we can provide a good impact regarding my work to have a consistent result. So we have engineers that speak with code, with source code. We have AI engineers, we have a data scientists, and all of them has their own terms. But the idea, if we have one unique language that is the business language, the business goals, I think everything will succeed well and will benefit the client, right?
That makes a lot of sense. At the same time, there's a lot of hype in this industry, right? What's your
Yes.
framework for evaluating if an AI feature is really valuable or if it's just hype?
I don't know if I use a framework per se. What I use is this three-part litmus test, or is the three-step process, where I ask three kind of questions. One is, does this solve a real user scenario in a better way, in a good way? Do we have the relevant data that support my statement or to prove this? And finally, can we explain and monitor this output in a good way? If not, this product is not ready for release, right? So if the solution is providing a good result, right, and is benefiting the user in the end, do we have the data that is validating what we are doing, and we can monitor about the accuracy of this model, then we are good.
So Mauricio, AI generated code is everywhere now. How do you see that AI generated code changing the role and the expectations around engineers and technical PMs?
All right. For engineers, I believe this will help to be as a co-pilot, right? I don't think we'll replace engineers at all, right? But will improve the quality of deliverables they are producing, right? Will increase the speed about their work, right? And will help to optimize their code. Probably they can define, this is my input, I want this output, validate my code, how I can optimize this. So AI will provide more information. Of course, this needs to be reviewed, but the idea is that they will increase the quality of their work, right? They will increase their speed, and I believe if this will increase the performance of this developer probably in 30 to 60% about the velocity. Regarding the product manager, this improves the quality of work about the information they provide to the across different stakeholders or different areas. Because as a product manager, I craft stories, right? And sometimes I need to use a specific sort of format, right? And in order to maintain this consistent information to everyone that I'm providing these stories, I can use AI in order to clarify my point of view or the idea of the business. Also, it provides me good ideas about what I miss regarding my stories. So I can add this information to the upcoming roadmap. So I believe this improve and augment the deliverable and quality of the work of any engineer and also a product manager.
And do you see PMs having to get more technical? Do you think that a product manager will need to be AI literate at least in order to continue being effective going forward?
I think a product manager needs to understand the product upside down. Even if he's a business management product manager that has a business vision, they need to understand the product fully. So in that sense, a product manager has a different kind of operations regarding the stage of the product. Sometimes he's a QA manager, right? Because he needs to validate the product. Sometimes he needs to become a UI UX designer because we need to improve the visualization of the product. Sometimes I'm a data scientist because I need to evaluate the data. you have different positions in order to make your product more effective, right? But something that is clear is that you need to understand the product upside down. Answering your question is yes. If you're an AI product manager, you need to understand properly the technical vision of the product and the steps. So it's better if you are well informed to provide good impact on what you want to deliver.
Got it. And just to wrap up this part of the conversation regarding AI, are there some practical ways that PMs and engineering leaders can experiment with AI tools to boost the productivity of the teams right now?
Yeah, I think they can work collaborative, right? And as I mentioned at the beginning, they can use this AI to for example, to validate the code, or for
Mhm.
example, to make research regarding something he doesn't know. You can use this AI tool in order to make these spikes or this research of information, and that will make you faster regarding what you need to do. So I believe this is an augmentation tool that improve your quality and your work and deliverables. So in collaboration, is for me, it's a copilot. It's an assistant that helped me to improve the quality of work.
Let's shift gears here a little bit. I want to talk about go to market, and this is an odd topic to be discussed in a podcast that supposedly talks to two engineering leaders. But you've written a lot about go to market,
Yeah.
and you've written about that being a product leader's responsibility. What does that look like? What does great go to market look like from a PM's perspective?
Yeah. First of all, I think the go-to-market strategy is not the responsibility at all for the marketing team and sales team. It needs to be driven by the product manager, because I believe the one who needs to lead all the operations regarding the product and the involvement of sales and marketing in the roadmap is the product manager, right? He needs to coordinate all the efforts and the stages of the release of the product with the collaboration of the team. So he needs to start driving these go-to-market strategies, explaining what would the functionality will do, and having the participation of sales and marketing in order to understand what is valuable for the ending product, what is the segment, how we need to reach to this segment. So the idea of crafting these strategies starts since the beginning of the roadmap. So yes, I believe a product manager is paramount regarding these efforts, and helps to organize cross-functionally all the areas that are part of this go-to-market strategy.
So what you're saying is that product teams have to think about go to market not just at launch, but they have to think about that very early in the roadmap. How do they
Yes.
do that in practice? How can they incorporate go to market planning that early?
Yeah. As I mentioned, since the beginning of the roadmap, that means that for me, the perfect moment is the product discovery process. When you're getting the information about different areas, about what are the needs of the client, you have interviews a few of them in order to know what they need as part of the product, what customer success says, what the support mentioned about is good input for the product, and you start crafting the priorities regarding what you need to do. For that, you need also the input from marketing and sales in order to start defining this is the roadmap, this is the priority, this is the moment to start creating the go-to-market strategy.
But when you think about that in the context of a very large organization, for example, you have a hard task, right? You need to drive
Yeah.
alignment across engineering, business, sales, marketing, and leadership. How do you do that?
I prepare a consistent roadmap, and I prepare this timesheet about the interaction with different areas. So I provide dates and milestones regarding when I need to interact with all of them, and who is accountable for different kind of activities. And I always prepare some weekly meetings in order to not lose context and have everyone aligned with the main goal and main objectives as part of the roadmap. So for that, I'm the person that is preparing the communications. I'm sending the emails. I'm consistently mentioning we are in this stage. There is right now. There is the moment for some area to start participating, providing some input, etc. So the idea is to have the roadmap, the release plan, very well crafted with times, dates, and participation of the whole teams, and a very clear communication, transparent communication with everyone.
And you've managed product releases at a global scale, right? And
Yeah.
I imagine that cross-functional coordination gets even more complex when you add that global component, but also if there's an element of pressure involved. How do you keep that coordination in that context?
Yes, a clear communication with everyone. Have some meetings, weekly meetings, in order to review what we have done, define some milestones, as I mentioned before, and to handle the communication globally with the teams is very good to use to adapt the agile mindset, because
Mhm.
all teams has different kinds of methodologies you can use. For example, with the technical teams, you can use Scrum, Safe, whatever you want. But with business areas, you can use something like a more simple, like Kanban, right? You just need someone that is responsible for some activities. You can revisit it when you need to need to have updates about the status and evolution about their activities. So I apply always an agile mindset and points where I can review as part of the milestones and goals with different areas. So that keep me up to date about all steps in the release plan.
Yeah, and I forgot to mention you're also a SAFe certified agile leader. Let's talk a little bit about that. Where do you think SAFe works well, and where do you think it gets misapplied in product orgs?
Yeah, I believe safe methodology is the perfect evolution of a lean methodology, right? It is great to work with large teams in order to work with different kind of models in order to work parallel with the main objectives. The good thing about safe methodology is that you can discuss with the teams, receive their input in order to receive confidence about the roadmap, the release plan you want to have as part of the product. Where you can discuss about what are the risks, what are the dependencies. Sometimes teams needs to start their work after another team ends a functionality. So this coordination needs to happen in a very consistent way. So SAFe helps a lot in order to have this consistency crafted properly, and you have this vote of confidence from them in order to achieve these goals. So yes, I believe SAFe is great for large teams and to handle risk in a good way.
I wanted to change gears again here and talk a little bit about advice that you would give to our audience, to engineers, to PMs, and to future leaders. So a lot of people ask us about the idea of getting into coding today in an era where AI is dominating things. What advice would you give to those young people who are considering getting into coding?
Yeah, that is a great question. Actually, coding is just a tool, right? You can use whatever tool you want, but the objective is to bring value, to resolve a problem. I believe all of us, we have one profession. It doesn't matter if you're a lawyer, you're an engineer, you're a doctor, etc. Our main profession is solution maker, right? We need to bring solutions. So in order, whatever tool you use, what you need to think is how I can bring solution in the best way in order to add value to the company or the product, right? If you have this kind of mindset and just not provide the minimum necessary to instead provide an added value, that is the biggest advice that I can give you. Try to be different,
Right.
bring value to the product.
That's great advice. Now, how about those individual contributors who want to grow into product leaders or engineering leaders? Um, what skills do you think they should focus on developing?
Yeah, for a product leader, you need to be a good communicator. You need to be clear, right? But you also need to be empathetic regarding cross-functional areas, because other areas has different kind of struggles and challenges. If you need to coordinate with them, you need to be empathetic. You need to know how is the situation with them. You need to know what is the right time to communicate and how you can communicate with them, right? So be a good communicator. Be well organized. No matter what, try to have everything in order and also document. You need to document all the information properly in order to have everyone in the same page and be transparent as much as possible.
And that's definitely something that individual contributors can do without having a formal leadership title, right?
Correct, correct. I believe everyone can be a leader, right? Everyone has the potential to be a good leader, but for that you need to be empathetic, understand how is how works different people regarding their role, and of course how what is the best way to communicate with them.
Got it. Yeah. You have a lot of experience leading teams across the US and Latin America. So, what advice would you share about building product culture in global organizations and especially in remote first environments?
Yeah, actually, I have worked with teams not only in America as a continent. I work with teams in Europe, Asia, Middle East, etc. So what is challenging is time zone, right? To find the right moment to communicate with them. So in order to work asynchronous with them and provide this timely information, you need to document all your information using this knowledge database like Confluence or different tools. The idea is to have the information in one place. If you are well organized regarding the documentation of the product, you are constantly providing some updates with emails or communications using different messaging systems like Slack, Teams, etc. And you can set some online meetings where everyone can work at one time just to keep track about the milestones. I think that is good, right? But it is challenging, yes. You need to understand that different teams has different cultural trails, yes, of course. But the idea of have this documentation in one place and constant and periodic communication, that helps a lot, right?
And finally, looking back, is there a piece of advice or career advice specifically that you wish you had received earlier in your journey?
Yeah, do not be afraid of committing mistakes. No one is perfect, right? You will learn constantly. Your profession is more than a title. Your profession is to bring solution, be a solution maker, right? Always think about how I can resolve a problem, right? By resolving problems and bringing the best fitted solution is always good, but try to listen to other people because you don't have all the answers. Sometimes someone can have a better idea. You need to listen, you need to learn. That helps you to grow constantly and don't stagnate in one point because product management is constant learning.
Mauricio, you have a newsletter, you have Product Quintessential Pulse. What inspired you to start sharing those unspoken truths of product leadership?
Yeah. Well, since the beginning that I started being a product manager, no one told me what were the challenges, the responsibility, the accountability that I have regarding the product. So I faced different challenges along the way, and I learned a lot by committing mistakes, right? And I wanted to share my experiences with everyone. So when I share these experiences, I discuss with different product managers, and I learn from their approach about how they face these same problems. So I learn from them, I refine my knowledge, and I grow. So what I wanted is more about share my experience, feel happy about having helping someone to resolve a problem, right? And sometimes I receive messages like, Mauricio, your suggestion worked very well, but I will add this other scenario, or I will add this other solution, and that for me is nurturing. That makes me happy. I feel that I help someone else with the same problem that I didn't receive any sort of help.
Looking ahead, you've been deep in the automation and AI space for years. Is there something you believe about the future of work or tech that you think most people still underestimate?
Yes, I believe the products in the future will be intelligent collaborators, right?
Mm.
It will be adaptive and will handle different kind of contexts. So I think the new products will be game changing. Will be totally different. I cannot think. I think we just touch the 10% about what AI has regarding a product. It is not something that you can use in a chat box and receive some generative information. I believe the new products in the future will be totally different, but will collaborate in an intelligent way to handle different sort of behaviors in the best fitted situation.
And what excites you most about this next generation of AI powered product experiences?
I believe the results for this will improve the quality of what are we doing, will help us to become better professionals, will help to provide more impact in the real world scenarios, right? And this is the first stage for the new era, right?
That's great. Mauricio, it was great chatting with you. What's the best way our viewers can get in touch?
Well, the best way is you can subscribe to my newsletter, right? That is one of the options. Other way is you can find me on LinkedIn. I'm always open to discuss, to receive messages. I'm open always to guide and provide a little bit of the knowledge that I have regarding product management, right? So find me on LinkedIn.
Okay, we'll add your LinkedIn profile link and the link to Product Quintessential polls to the show notes. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks, Mauricio, for joining us. This was another episode of Tech Teams Today. Don't forget to like and subscribe on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. Have a great week.
Thank you so much, everyone.